other human beings. I don't, and it doesn't matter if you live in a democracy or a dictatorship. It's still wrong to steal. And if you can build a system that disincentivizes stealing, then you're on the right path.
70% of Bitcoin mining potentially uses renewable energy. How do you think about Bitcoin's effect on incentivizing renewable energy?
Yes, this is a wonderful. There are great spokespeople for this particular thing. Daniel Batten, Rachel Gayer, Troy Cross come to mind. They focus on the fact that Bitcoin mining can be used as a sort of suspension mechanism for renewable energy. So you can connect a Bitcoin miner to a solar farm or a wind farm. And whenever that overproduces energy, you can use the excess energy to mine Bitcoin. And the beauty of that why it's good to mine Bitcoin instead of using the energy for instance, Facebook or YouTube videos or any other big data or AI or any other big data crunching thing. Is that Bitcoin doesn't require that much bandwidth, so it can be put in very remote locations, like 2.5 megabytes every 10 minutes bandwidth, which is so beautiful and device renewable energy. And truly renewable energy is renewable energy that is not subsidized by the government. Real sustainable renewable energy. And if you have access to that, so you have basically free energy, there is no reason for you not to install the Bitcoin miner because it's free money. And that's what we see in Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is one of the greenest industries on the planet. And regardless of whether you think climate change is a real threat or not, or if it has to do with human behavior or not, this is a path to a more environment friendly type of money. And you can even imagine a wind farm or a solar farm being built not for the community but to mine Bitcoin, and whatever it whenever the community next to it needs some extra energy, you sacrifice some of that to the community, and you have the miners running at all times, and then you have a very stable grid. If you like flip the equation and think of Bitcoin mining not as the suspension mechanism for extra when they overproduce, but if you think about it as the main thing, and whenever it's super cold or something and the society next to it needs extra energy, just turn the miners off and send or some of the miners off and send the energy there. So
we've seen a lot, especially.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's kind of hard for leftards all over the environmentalists that the Bitcoin mining is doing great stuff.
It's really unbelievable, but like there's so many environmentalists that are complaining and doing this stuff. It just blows my mind. I mean, why do you think that is?
Few things on Earth are as bad for the environment as environmentalists that haven't done the maths.
Yeah, it's like they're burnt.
Stupid shit, and they bash Elon whenever he does good shit. So I'm always on the opposite side of the Elon bashing. So and there's a lot to be said about this subject. For instance, I used to be very, very pro nuclear because nuclear is from a physics perspective, it's by far the most reliable and the least wasteful type of energy production that we have. But from a democracy perspective, it's not, because sooner or later you're going to have some goddamn hippies destroy the whole thing. So it's sustainable from a physics perspective. But if, for instance, Democrats needed the Green Party to form a coalition government to get into power, and in order to get them on their side, they had to shut down 2 reactors, which led to a shortage of power, and then they had to fire up the coal plants, which is way worse.
No, it's crazy.
So it's like, but as long as we have the kind of governing systems that we have, nuclear isn't that reliable, unfortunately. It's only reliable. It's better at relocating resources than the current destructive system that puts decision making in the hands of politicians that waste resources all the time and build shit that no one asked for. Ugly art, state-funded media, all sorts of shit that
My favorite is all these NGOs. Those are my favorite. Non-governmental organizations that depend on all the money from the...
An insight that my grandfather had, which is that which you can do without, you own. So if I don't crave a Lambo, I own all the Lambos because I own the urge. Like it's a mental thing.
Famous Swedish
no, he wasn't.
Euphemism.
Others say things, similar things. Naval Ravikant, for instance. Honey badger spirit.
That's what Keynes called it. Animal spirits. We need to stimulate animal spirits.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily believe Keynes was a bad man, but he was definitely confused about certain things. And the whole theory that so the Keynesian theory is basically this: I give you every time $100 bill changes hands, new value is created because you create new. It wouldn't otherwise have if the money had kept or increased its value.
I mean, well, it's a manipulation of the incentive structure. In the same way that, like they said, if people behave differently if they know they're being surveilled in society. Have you looked at some of that data? Or like if you know you're being watched, you act differently. So
you don't need data for that. Like the thing with human action is that empiricism cannot deny nor confirm any theory. It's just deductive reasoning all the way. Like you can say these things and they are absolutely true because they have to be, because arguing against them you run into a contra. And I think as much as I like that no one is smoking in pubs anymore, smoking cigarettes bad for everyone because of the health issue. But in losing that, I think humanity lost a bit of its rebel spirit. Everyone has been punk rock.
Yeah.
But Bitcoin is punk rock. Andreas Antonopoulos said that at one point. Yeah.
It's an interesting rabbit hole to go down. I know I talked to Dominic Frisby about this, and he went to like Cuba, for example. And
so did I.
Yeah, money printer, which is the tourism that comes in with US dollars.
Yeah, it's awful.
So it's like, could you imagine? It just blew my mind. It was like, broke my heart. That's like, hey, your chance at having the best go.
So here's a couple of observations about Cuba. To say that, okay, now ice cream is free for everyone. So you get free ice cream. Talk about a handout, God. So state-funded ice cream. So I go to this La Cupola place because we wanted to see it. And there's a line of 200 Cubans waiting for their for a cup of ice cream. And you could bypass all the communism. And it paints such a good picture of what communism actually is. It's just a bigger, the lower classes are, there's no middle class. It's just the elites and everyone else poor as fuck.
And it's a great animal farm.
And Swedes,
we're all equal, but some of us are more equal.
Yeah. And Swedes, of course, with growing up with propagandistic state-funded media, everyone loved Cuba because there's a romanticism around Cuba, this little nation fighting big evil empire USA, right? So we went. Often we came from Cuba and went to Florida afterwards, or the other way around. And every Swede was tipping the waitresses in the U.S., but not in Cuba. Because they heard on TV that waitresses make fuck all in the US, so you have to tip them. But that didn't apply to Cuba for some reason. What do you think the waitress in Havana makes more than I am Amber in fucking Miami? Like, are you kidding me?
Oh man!
But they just refuse to see that, and this is while Havana is literally falling apart. Like 1,000 people per year die from the buildings collapsing on top of their heads.
That's unbelievable.
Because they have no maintenance system. Like no one has any incentive to do anything. It's just
somebody told me they went there and it was like they tried to order something at a restaurant and the person was just sitting there not doing anything and they were like rude. It was like just blew their mind.
Yeah, the trade embargo has done a lot of harm too, because that has put them in an even worse spot.
Everybody's got full bellies,
the food is
I
crap
hope.
In Cuba. Like Cuban food
How was lunch?
In America is nothing like Cuban food in Cuba.
Can I hear a round of applause
because
for
they
the
have
chef?
it's just rice and beans.
I'm gonna take you to
anything. Oh wow, it really wasn't that good?
My favorite Cuban place. We got the best churrasco steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and all
great.
the
Okay, I'm
like,
glad you all
Cubans
enjoyed
in
lunch.
Florida are
So
super
I
successful.
gotta before I bring up our next speaker, whose picture is up on the screens, by the way, and with an interesting thing to read about while I'm talking.